All right, the purpose of this video is, now that we've talked about basically sort of the structure set up, what you need to be looking for, I'm going to teach you how to start correcting, okay? And we're gonna start with the head and work our way all the way down to the feet, and then we're gonna go back up the chain to sort of recheck. Okay, so if we're looking at our head, most of you, not every single one of you, but the vast majority of you do this. You look down at your phone, you poke your head forward like a chicken does. When they're walking, you never notice how they poke their head forward every step they take? That's most of you, okay? Almost every single one of y'all do that stuff, okay? So what you wanna do instead is get the head, ear over the top of the shoulders, okay? Now I'm gonna come back to that here in a little bit because most of y'all stand like this, okay? A lot of y'all stand with a rounded shoulder going forward like this, and we wanna actually get that shoulder in a good position to where it's no longer in that spot. So here's what to do instead. What you're gonna do is take your phone, okay? If you're gonna be using your phone or whatever, you're gonna take your phone and prop it up like this. And it's almost like, you know, if you've ever had someone with really bad breath get up in your face, and imagine your phone is that person with bad breath, and you're like, ugh, I can't do that, okay? And it's not like this, okay, because that's gonna put you in a bad position. What I want you to do is just back straight away with your head, and you're gonna make a nice little double chin there, okay? That double chin is a good indicator that you're doing exactly what excuse me, what I want you to do. Sorry, overcoming Omicron, so I thought I'd shoot you this for you guys. Anyways, so on this, what you're gonna do is imagine, or bring your phone up to here, draw your head back, and that should be in a good position. So now if we look, right, if I were to look at where my ear is at in relation to my shoulder, it should be pretty much directly over the top of my shoulder without me having to do this, okay? That brings us to our next point, which is going to be head now down to shoulder, okay? Now, if we look at our shoulder, a lot of you guys stand like this, okay? You start turning those thumbs in, or you get one side that's turned in like this, the other side's kind of like this number, okay? It's a little bit open. That is a lot of people. A lot of people will stand with one side shifted, okay, and rotated. So what we want to do instead is basically bring those shoulder blades. I hate the term down and back because what it implies is this, which people naturally tend to interpret as, I'll just raise my rib cage up. That creates another problem. So we don't want to do that. What we want to do instead is just bring the shoulders around like that. All we're doing, if you look at it from behind, is we're just bringing those shoulders around, and that's it. It's really that simple. We're not pinching the shoulder blades together. We're not pinching the shoulder blades together. That's not what we're doing, okay? We're just bringing those shoulder blades around and relaxing them. It's pretty simple, okay? So you're gonna stay right there, okay? And then just relax those arms right at your side. About your wrist will hit pretty close to where your hip is. The next piece that we're gonna go over is now gonna be that the rib position, okay? Because like I said, a lot of you guys think you have really good posture, okay? A lot of y'all do. You'll stand like this, okay? And what you'll see, and you can see it through my shirt, my ribs tend to poke through my shirt when I do this, okay? That's not where you wanna be. You don't want those ribs to be poking out so far that you create a massive expansion on your rib cage. The reason is, if we start to do that, we start to get into what we know is what we call a sway back in physical therapy or in orthopedic terms, okay? We don't want to be in that position, all right? So what we want to do instead is control, okay? So put your hands, okay, right on. So we got breast line here, go south of the breast line, okay? And you're going to hook right here on your rib cage. Most of you, a lot of you are going to be able to fit your whole fingers on it. It's very hard for me to do that because I've worked on that tone to build up the strength so that I can control that rib cage position. A lot of you guys, what's going to happen is you're going to fit those fingers right under there, no problem, pretty easy, because you don't have the strength in your obliques and your upper abdominals. Okay, so what you want to do is put those hands right here, and then what I want you to do is place your fingertips in this little small spot right here. There's a bone that hangs down here. It's called the xiphoid process. Just south of that, okay, there's a little soft spot. What I want you to feel is if you can make that soft spot start to get hard, okay? That is one of the very, very top portion of your rectus abdominis, or your abdominal muscles, okay? And I'm gonna show it to you right here, okay? So if we look at this guy, okay? Let me just take a look. I'm gonna turn this light off so we can actually see the screen. Okay, so if we get rid of the abdominal sheath, I'm going to get rid of that, and we get rid of this one. You can see the xiphoid process is that little spot that's hanging out. I'm going to get rid of the linea alba so you can actually see the xiphoid is a little tip piece that's on the end. Okay, where I'm asking you to push is right here on the very top portion, that last little strip. Okay, that's where I'm asking you to push. Is right on that last little strip on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 8-ish to 10-ish pack on this guy. I want you to push in that spot, okay? I want you to see if you can begin, excuse me, begin to make that spot get hard, okay? Because if you can, then you're starting to be able to control the rib cage position. Now, next, here's what I want you to be able to do. Okay, next, we're going to take our ribs, our fingers, and lay it along the ribs, okay? Can you control the rib position by pulling through here, okay? All right, now, I want you to take your fingers, go down, border the rib cage here, poke in, and what I want to happen here is I want your fingers to push back out when you do this. So, okay, you see how my fingers went out when I did that? Relax, and they go back in. If I control it, I should be able to go and put pressure out. Those are our obliques that are coming in on the sides here, okay? Obliques are really important. They help us to control the rib cage position along with our abdominal muscles as well, okay? So if we look at our obliques, just so you know I'm not lying, there's our obliques, okay? Exactly what I was talking about. Okay, if you line it up, the easiest way to find it is fall off the edge of, excuse me, fall off the edge of the rib cage and dig your fingers in and then squeeze down right there. You're popping out with those obliques. Okay, obliques are they're stabilizers. They're also rotators. Okay, so if you rotate, okay, just like I just did there, these obliques just kicked in. Okay, on this side, these obliques are kicking in right now. Okay, and that's what you get with obliques and also transversus. Transversus is another one. Transverse abdominis is another one that kind of helps to bring everything in together. Okay, those muscles are really important. That's where I want you to control that part. Okay, now we're gonna shift now to a little bit lower. This is pelvic control. This is really important, and there's different ways you can do this. I like to do it standing because it's functional, and a lot of people need help with standing. So, two ways we can do this, okay? We can work on, first, the knee control, okay? So if we lock out the knees, we enter rotate the pelvis, okay? If we unlock the knees, we posterior rotate, enter, posterior, enter, posterior, dun, 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 dun. Okay, it's also a nice little fun dance move that you can do as well. All right, so what we want to do instead is control that, okay? So we don't want to go like this, because then we don't want to walk around like Kermit the Frog, right? We don't want to do that. We want to get the pelvis in the good position where we control it. Okay, so it's just a slight unlocking of the knee. That's it, okay? So that's terminal extension, quads are locked out, slightly unlocked, okay? That starts the process of controlling the pelvic position. Next, what we have to do is be able to control from down here, okay? This is our pelvic control, all right? So what you're gonna do, take your fingers. Now this can get very personal, okay? So guys, make sure everything's moving out of the way, all right? So what you're gonna do, there's a little bone that's right here, okay? There's a bony prominence, and you'll feel it when you get on top of it. It kind of makes you get squinty-eyed because it's not comfortable. You're mashing down skin and other things that are right there on top of it, on it, okay? You're gonna put pressure there, and then what I want you to do is fall in the space above that, okay? The space above that is where your lower abdominals are gonna be, okay? Now, if we do this right, we should be able to contract right there, and then we get a rotation backwards on our pelvis to get the pelvis into that neutral position. So what I want you to do, put the pressure there, squeeze and rotate. It's that simple, okay? Squeeze and rotate. Now, there's another thing that you can do at the same time that's gonna help, okay? And this one is actually really easy to do. You squeeze your butt muscles, okay? It's really not that hard. You just tighten up the cheeks as you tighten up the middle right here, and now you have a good solid position right in neutral spine here on the pelvis, okay? So if we want to control it, we're going to go unlock the knees, squeeze the glutes a little bit, squeeze the front a little bit. Now we're in a good neutral position. Now we're stable here at the pelvis. Now all we have to do then is keep everything stable here and then adjust our position accordingly, okay? That's how you can quickly begin to get the body reorganized to a neutral spine. Really simple, really easy to do, okay? One last thing that we're gonna talk about on this is gonna be the ankle. So we've gone down from head to shoulder to ribs to pelvis to knee. Let's talk about the ankle because it's really important, and I'll show you why. Everything I'll talk about is important, but I'll show you why, okay? A lot of people want to stand like this, and they stand with that really big sway, anterior pelvic tilt, da-da-da. The feet are just relaxed, and they kind of like, they hang out like this, okay? All right, it's very hard for me to do that. I lose my balance when I do that, okay? What we want to do instead is use our feet. You can control where your body goes sway-wise by using your toes, okay? This is another important part. If you use your feet and create a supinated foot, in other words, we're controlling the arch, you can control the hip position. If we can control the hip position, we can control the pelvic position. If we can control the pelvic position, we can control the rib position. If we can control the rib position, we can control the shoulder position. If we can control the shoulder position, we control the neck position, okay? So it actually starts from the ground up. That's why I like to hit this one last, because this is the last piece, the pièce de résistance, that basically will help you set up everything else, because all of the force of everything, right, that you feel when you're walking, squatting, lunging, comes through your foot, okay? So you've got to have a good foot stability set up, okay? So what you want to do is grip the floor with your toes, okay? You can watch, when I relax here, my foot on the right, you can see how it just kind of flattens out. If I grip the floor, I create a bit of an arch, okay? What else happened when I do that? If I grip the floor, you can see how my leg begins to rotate outward, okay? That's really important. What happens right there? If I relax, okay, if I just let myself go, I relax. If I do what I'm supposed to do, it pulls me back, okay? That's one way that you can start affecting your posture with your feet. Okay, the reason that's also important is if we go here, grip the floor, push them open, hips engage when we do that, okay? Hip engagement is naturally going to cause our pelvis, our pelvic muscles and our abdominals to all start playing the game together, okay? So using your feet on the floor is very much going to affect everything here, all the way up the chain. So the way we want to do it, take your feet, grip the floor, create a little bit of supination, and then now we've got it. Supination, again, is that in and out position on the foot, okay? So grip the floor, push out, there, stay tight, boom, 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 all the way up the chain, and there you go.